Guys, back with another video here. I'm going to be discussing Adesanya's future if he loses at this next UFC pay-per-view versus Dricus Du Plesis. And I think he can go a couple ways with this. First being just being a random regular contender in the top of the heap of the middleweight division. Um, he would have to go against the likes of, let's see, Strickland, Whitaker again, but Whitaker's fighting Hamzat, obviously. Um, there's Imavov, who's fighting Brennan Allen. But I don't see him going that way. I don't see him becoming just a random Joe Schmo contender. I think Adesanya is in that stage where he probably needs something to excite him. And who's going to excite him? Maybe Hamzat if he beats Rob, but Hamzat's going to be fighting for the championship, I guarantee you, after that fight if he ends up winning. But if you think about it, maybe he goes up to light heavyweight. People are slower there. They're not as good. I know he lost to Jan Blachowicz, but Jan's a really good striker, Muay Thai striker, good low kicks. He parries really well, and Adesanya's boxing is just not good. I mean, he's a really good kickboxer, but just straight boxing, his boxing is bad. You remember him versus Robert Whitaker, leaving his chin up in the air, throwing that hook, a wild hook. And when he says he aims and fires, he doesn't. I mean, he prays and hopes, and then he got a home run on that one. But I believe that he can go up to 205, but I don't see him trying to chase Alex Pereira again. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think he wants that problem. I mean, we all saw what happened in that second fight between them in MMA in Miami when he was getting outstruck badly. His leg was damaged, and he can say he was playing possum, this and that. But again, I think that he just drilled that so many times where he left that jab hand out to cover and throw the overhand that he was like, all right, I mean, he's here. Let's hope for the best, and the best happened for him. But we saw Alex Pereira chewing up his leg, just outboxing him, walking him down. Um, Alex Pereira is a better jiu-jitsu player, and not even close. You saw him go for that knee bar attempt in the first fight. People have this misconception that he took down Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira actually tried to step over and wizard throw him, but his technique was lacking. And I think that Adesanya kind of was exposed for not being that great of a grappler in that fight, and then again in the Jan Blachowicz fight where he couldn't even get up from full guard for in the fourth and fifth round. So I don't think he's gonna chase 205 and try to fight for a title. Let me see the 205 rankings. Light heavyweight topology rankings. Okay, let's see. Because I just don't think that he doesn't have another title run in him. I mean, he's basically gifted chance after chance. I mean, you saw it's his 12 straight title bout, and for what? He got dominated by Strickland. Strickland dominated him. Pereira KO'd him. Okay, I get you. He won 3 or 4 in a row. I hate that people say he's one of the best middleweights ever. I mean, he puts on the most uneventful fights. You can say that he's a mastermind, high IQ. He just is a lot taller and rangier than these guys, and once he goes against someone his size or has some attributes like Pereira, Jan, Strickland is almost his size. He's just not capable of, let's be honest, standing with them. I mean, he was getting outboxed by Jan. He was getting outboxed by Strickland badly. Strickland, all he did was he was just parrying every single shot, every single jab. His jab's not quick. He pauses jab out. Strickland just walked him down into boxing range and just jabbed his face off. But I'm thinking, you could say he can fight Yuri because that is an exciting fight. Both are managed, I think. Oh, I guess not anymore. Adesanya used to be managed by Paradigm, but I think he switched to Tim Simpson's new agency because that was his manager at the or agent at Paradigm who left. But Yuri is also a Paradigm guy. But I can't see why he would fight Yuri because Yuri lost twice to Pereira, and everybody's just gonna compare Pereira and Adesanya forever. So if he doesn't finish him in the first round, he's just not as good. So I can't see that. Maybe I don't know if he'll interfere also in the 205 division. Also, if Alex Pereira ends up losing, because Carlos Ulberg's his guy, and I don't think he wants to interfere with that. Maybe he stays at 185. But it's actually it's really hard. He's in that same boat where Conor McGregor is. Like, what do you do with him? So I think, like, especially in Conor's instance, he messed up a couple of times. He should have fought Dariush when Ali Abdelaziz was like, fight Dariush and then you fight Islam. Dariush, I mean, I was begging Conor to take that fight. I mean, Dariush has the worst striking, doesn't move his head. A 1-2 would decapitate him, and he didn't want to take it. He should have fought Gaethje. Gaethje's boxing, I mean, Max Holloway exposed it. Gaethje's boxing isn't all that. He doesn't throw enough combinations. Poirier was just a bad matchup for him, honestly, and he should have fought Gaethje, and he should have fought Dariush. But now what do you do with them? I was even thinking maybe he fights Robbie Lawler like 2 years ago before Robbie Lawler retired, because remember that funny clip where Robbie Lawler's like, I'm going to take his soul. So maybe you do let's go back to Izzy. Maybe you do Izzy versus, you can't do Cannonier again. I mean, he's fighting some, Cannonier's fighting a lower ranked guy, but it's just hard to say. I would say that maybe you do. Can you really put him in a Pereira rematch? I don't think he would want that either, though. I mean, it's just a bad matchup for him. You would have to find somebody that, maybe you do like a Luke Rockhold if he wants to come back. Somebody that will excite him. I mean, Luke Rockhold I know isn't a big name anymore, but I mean, he's still a good fighter. I mean, you see him rolling. I think he's in that Craig Jones Invitational. He's a good fighter. And let's be honest, people, UFC puts him on pay-per-views for a reason. He's been on pay-per-view, I think, last like 4 or 5 fights, and they do that for a reason because they know people want to watch him. People know he's talented, and that's what you can do. I mean, or maybe Adesanya thought about going to heavyweight. Can he go to heavyweight? I mean, with the right matchup, can he go to heavyweight? No, I don't think he can either. I mean, who's a good match? Volkov's not a good match. He's too big. Volkov's way too big for him. Pavlovich too big. So his best bet's at 185, and I think maybe 185 you can do Hamzat. If Hamzat loses versus Robert Whittaker, you do Hamzat him. But honestly, the third option, and I think the most reasonable option, is that he retires. And I don't like Adesanya, honestly. I don't like the way he fights. I don't like the way he talks. He's a weirdo. I think everybody saw the MMA Guru video about how he jerks off his dog, and that's just insane. But I think that he should retire and just leave like that. He's made a lot of money, and I think it's going to be best for him. I mean, what's the odds he actually wins the fight? I think they're both pick 'em, maybe minus 115 Adesanya, minus 120. I think that he needs to seriously reflect on what he wants to do, because I think he can fight Hamzat, but if he gets destroyed by Hamzat, is everybody going to do what they do with Tony Ferguson do Adesanya? I think that's going to be 4 out of 5 losses, or what they do with Volk now. Everybody's begging Volk, basically, take some time off. Don't fight. Please, don't get chinned. Don't do that. I mean, it's sad to see with all these former champions and good fighters that That's what happens at the end of this sport. But that's just what happens. And Adesanya, maybe it's just time to retire, leave your legacy intact, be the second or third best middleweight ever. That's fine. It's 100% fine to be the second or third best middleweight ever. But anyways, so either A, he can become a contender in middleweight again, maybe go against the loser of Khamzat Whitaker, maybe go against Imavov. Imavov's up there after he fights Brendan Allen. Or then he can go to the light heavyweight, chase the Pereira rematch, but I don't think he would do that, honestly, because I think in his fucked up mind, he thinks he won that rivalry. So, or third, he retires, and I think that's probably best for him. So, appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one. Sorry I'm a little boring right now. I'm a little sick, but have fun making this video. Talk to you guys later.